The concept of the simulacrum, introduced by Jean Baudrillard, is crucial in understanding the modern condition. It describes a world where representations no longer refer to any original reality, but rather refer only to other signs, producing an endless loop of references. In a hypermediated world, images become detached from any grounding source. The sign precedes and determines reality. In this environment, what is perceived as real is often just a curated version of a curated version. Consider a luxury lifestyle post on Instagram. The original experience, the moment lived, has been filtered, photographed, captioned, and uploaded. Then it is consumed, reshared, and turned into a format for others to mimic. The image becomes the reality. The copy becomes the truth. This is a simulacrum. Virality, whether in memes, social trends, or news, operates within the architecture of the simulacrum. What becomes viral is rarely what is truest, most useful, or most rational. Instead, it is what resonates most powerfully with unconscious patterns within the collective psyche. A gesture, an image, a phrase, once uploaded, can take root and replicate like a psychic virus. The term viral implies more than replication. It suggests contagion, that something passes from mind to mind, infecting behavior and perception. The mind's attention is captured, often not by content that elevates, but by that which shocks, mimics, or flatters. This is not incidental. The structure of social media platforms, incentivized by engagement metrics and built-in feedback loops, favors the lowest common denominator of human attention. In a world dominated by images and reflections, the body becomes a project of endless refinement, simulation, and mirroring. Cosmetic surgery, filters, digital avatars, these are not merely enhancements. They are attempts to align the self-image with a hyper-real standard manufactured by culture. The individual's reflection is no longer sourced from a natural mirror, but a digital one, algorithmically adjusted and socially reinforced. Gender identity in the digital age has become increasingly influenced by the hyper-image. As the barriers between simulation and biological reality erode, the psyche adapts by integrating symbolic representations into self-conception. A person may form a self-image that draws more from digitally available archetypes than from embodied, lived experience. This does not deny the validity of individual identity, but it raises the question: how much of identity today is original perception, and how much is the absorption of simulation? In the hyper-image economy, we share highlights, not processions. What is lost is the slow, unfolding truth of becoming. Life's texture, the mistakes, silences, and ambiguities is filtered out. This distorts both self-perception and public perception. The viral moment becomes the measure of worth, and the pressure to curate oneself in accordance with these snapshots becomes overwhelming. Philosophically, this raises an essential problem. What becomes of reality when representation overtakes it? What happens to inner truth when external validation, likes, shares, views, dominates all measures of worth? The simulacrum reveals that meaning, once grounded in a relation between self and world, is now flattened into signification alone. To resist the simulacrum is not to reject technology or digital expression, but to restore the connection between the sign and what it once meant. It is to allow the image to point beyond itself again, to something real, experienced, lived. This requires slowing down, refusing the instant, allowing for process. Silence, solitude, and inquiry become tools of clarity. in choosing to highlight process rather than presentation, in allowing ambiguity and refusing spectacle. We begin to recover the ability to see. We are now at a threshold. Either we continue to inhabit the echo chamber of mirrors until the distinction between reality and image collapses altogether, or we awaken to the distortion and begin to navigate differently. Philosophy must be practiced in the open, not as a reactionary impulse, but as a means of restoring the self to itself amidst the storm of signals. The viral is not always truthful. The simulacrum is not always harmful. But their influence is immense. Understanding them is the first gesture of reclaiming attention.